What's going on, everybody? My name is Corey with Nerdworks, and today, something different for you. In the past, we've talked about my love for a game called Magic the Gatherings. We haven't really done much with it. We did, and you can see right here, we did a couple unboxings of some dual decks. We've done the unboxing of the board game, but really we've never straight talked about this game. I've just shown you things. And today I wanted to do something I've been working on for a while and trying to figure out the right way to do it. But today we're gonna do a deck tech for you, a deck tech. And that's where I kind of give you a deck list in the sideboard that I've been working on for a little while now. And then if you want to use it, you can go ahead and use it. If you don't want to use it, then you don't have to. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm not telling you what you have to do. That's not that kind of video. So today's, we're doing a little bit of budget blue-red tutelage, or is it tutelage? Whatever you want. I'm calling it blue-red, budget blue-red tutelage. Now I say it's budget because there's one card that I'm omitting from this deck that would cause this deck to skyrocket dramatically in price. And when we get to that card, I'll tell you more about it then. And if you have the dollars or the money and you want to go ahead and substitute the more expensive card for the budget version, by all means go right ahead. I don't have the money to do this for a game. So this is blue-red budget tutelage. Let's get going. Here we go. So we're gonna start off with the enchantments here. A straight play set of 4 of Sphinx's tutelage. Now this is what the entire deck is based off of. This is your main win condition. Because really we don't have many threats as far as removal or straight creatures or creature destruction or anything. Really this card is how you win. This card is how you win the game. Basically, whenever you draw a card, the target opponent puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. If they're both non-land cards that share a color, repeat this process. So basically, you draw a card, target player reveals the top 2 of his library, or discards, excuse me, in his or her graveyard. If it's a Fiery Impulse and a Exquisite Firecraft, both red, non-land cards, they have to keep doing this until they either have 2 cards that aren't the same color or they have a land card. Basically all it is. So depending on the meta you're playing or the type of game you're playing, modern, standard, whatever, this is a standard deck, but this could brutally destroy any mono-colored decks, especially, you know, mono-red aggro. Sorry. So moving right along with the enchantments, we have a 2 of Oath of Jace and another 2 of Monastery Siege. Now with Oath of Jace, really you're not doing this for his planeswalker ability for the scrying. Sorry, my face can't talk. You're really doing this for its ability when it enters the battlefield. Basically, when it enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, then discard 2. Again, just tutelage triggers. You're drawing 3 cards. Yeah, you gotta ditch 2, but that's 3 tutelage triggers right there. That's gonna decimate them, basically, is what it is. And then Monastery Siege, less for its targeting ability, more for its drawing cards. You have to draw an extra card, and then you discard a card on your draw step. All right, so when we move on to the creatures, here's where it becomes more of a budget build than it would be just a regular build. Now, ideally, you wanna run Baby Jace. You want him. Because you can draw a card, discard a card. He's gonna flip. When he flips, that gives you a little bit of defense by taking away power from the dudes to your next turn. You can recast your spells from the graveyard. A lot of the spells here you're gonna be noticing draw you cards, which is what you want with the tutelage deck, because the tutelage triggers mills them. And again, that's your win condition. But I understand Jace is expensive. I have 0 Jaces. I have none of them. With some of my more casual friends, I print my Jace and I just use that and they don't really care. But I understand that that's not necessarily a good, it's not gonna work competitively. So doing a little research, finding cards that are similar to Jace, this one that I put here is the one that's the most similar that I found. It's a little bit higher on the curve than I want it to be, but Zephyr Scribe here, so 4 of I'm playing in place of Jace. You do have to pay a blue and tap him to draw the card, but this is Jace's ability without being Jace. It's 1 more mana to play. Yeah, that kind of sucks, but you know, it's not bad because not only do you get the draw ability, but when you cast a non-creature spell, you can untap Zephyr Scribe. And guess what? We're playing a ton of non-creature spells. So you could easily get, you know, at least 1 or 2 triggers, tutelage triggers off of Zephyr Scribe. So again, if you have the money, if you can afford it, play Jace. Obviously play Jace. Don't ever not play Jace when you can't. But if you can't afford it, this is the best budget alternative. It's a blue common from Dragons, I believe. Yeah, Dragons. This is the next best thing. When you can't afford a Jace, play a Zephyr Scribe, you know, what you gonna do? You're gonna do it. All right, so the other one-of creature I have in here, again, not very heavily creature-based deck, and I'm gonna murder this card name, but Jori and Rune Diver. This is from Oath of the Gatewatch. One of the good pieces that came from it. Now, I used to play a tutelage deck a couple standard seasons ago, the Turbo Fog tutelage, where it was just literally, the only creature in it, I think, was the Sylvan Caryatid, right? Is that the one that gets you mana? Maybe? I don't know. That was the only creature in it. It was no creatures, it was just blowing off combat damage. But, so in this version, I got rid of green, added red, because all the draw spells now are red and blue. And this guy I think is cool because whenever you cast your second spell each turn, draw a card. And I'm planning on casting more than 1 spell a turn in the later turns. Anywhere between turn, you know, after turn 4 and up. So that's basically it. Jori and Rune Diver. Second spell you cast each turn, you're drawing a card, tutelage trigger, milling your opponent out. They're done. Where's my water? My mouth is very dry. On to the remainder of the non-creature spells here. We have 4 Slip Through Space and we have 4 Expedite, both from Oath of the Gatewatch, both must includes on here. Slip Through Space makes it so a creature can't be blocked this turn, but it draws you a card. So, now this says target creature. It doesn't have to be your creature. Nothing in the rules say that you can't target their creatures. It doesn't say it. It's not there. So, you could target one of their creatures, make them unblockable. I mean, who are you really going to be blocking with? You have the Zephyr Scribe, you don't want him to die. You don't want your one Jor-En to die. So, I mean, really, what are you doing? I mean, you can make your dudes unblockable too, and then you can swing in. You know, that'd be cool. Here's a good play. Here's a good play. Turn 4, you play a Jor-En, right? And then you play an Expedite. Boom, you give your Jor-En haste. You draw the card off of Expedite. You draw a card off of being your second spell that you played that turn with Jor-En, and then you attack with Jor-En. That's a pretty good move. That's a pretty good play right there. An obvious no-brainer, and one of the only cards that's going to be rotating out the next few months. Treasure Cruise. Draw 3 cards. Do I really have to explain that? One of my only cards that really doesn't draw you cards that I have in here, I have 2 Dispel or 2 Negate. You could really, those are interchangeable. Dispel I think is a little better because it's only 1 mana. I think Negate is 2. Negate is 2, Dispel is 1. Obviously we want to be open for as much mana as we can so we can play any of our draw spells we need. But with Dispel, it's a 1 mana instant counter. That's what it is. So, because we need our tutelage to stick. And if we're playing anybody that's playing blue, I guarantee you they have some counter spells in there. So you need to have something in case we throw down our tutelage and they're like, no, fuck you. And they negate that, we can dispel their negates, or hell, we can negate their negate. We can clash them together. Nothing happens, our tutelage stays. Because honestly, without our tutelage, we are screwed. We have no other win conditions. I mean, I guess if we can keep our Jor-En around, we can peck away for 2 each turn, but honestly, that's not gonna happen. So another piece I have here from Oath of the Gatewatch is Grip of the Roil, which I have a 3 of this. Now, again, we're planning on playing this as our second spell, or 3rd spell each turn, or not each turn, but on our turn. So we can play its surge cost, which is only 2 versus the 3. Now with this, it gives us a little bit of tempo. We can tap a target creature, and it doesn't untap during their untap step, so it gives us a turn just in case they have a big, Eldrazi or a dragon, something that's giving us hell. We can tap it down for a turn. Gives us some time to the tutelage up, but it also draws us a card. Notice the synergy I have with most of the stuff here. There's drawing cards, and then there's tutelage. The next two, we have a 4 of Magmatic Insight and a 4 of Tormenting Voice. With Magmatic Insight, we have to discard a land card, but we draw a card. Again, do I have to explain this to you? We draw the card, Sphinx's tutelage triggers off, boom. There we go, we're milling our opponents. Tormenting Voice, same idea. We discard a card, but we draw 2 cards. Sphinx's tutelage, 2 times. Now that's it for the main deck. The lands, I'll show you right here. We have 8 islands, we have 7 mountains. I have the 1 Sea Gate Wreckage in there. When I saw that with 2, I mean, it draws you a card if your hand is empty. I don't want our hand to be empty really that much, but it might happen. It has happened a few times, so I thought the Sea Gate Wreckage was a good inclusion there. And then we have 2 Blighted Cataract, again, drawing cards. It's a little mana heavy for that, but if, again, we're stalled out and we really have nothing else to do. Sorry, I'm looking down. I'm looking, I have the deck right here. I'm looking through the deck for that Cataract. So yeah, 5 and a blue. Sacrifice this guy, draw 2 cards. So we draw 2 cards. It's 5 and a blue. It's a little mana heavy, but again, if we're stalled out, we need something to draw cards. Boom, we got it right there. Pop that land down, pay the 5. It's the blue, the 6. Tap it, sacrifice it. We're drawing 2 cards. Tutelage triggers twice off of that. Really, really good. The next one, we have either 4 Shiven Reef or 4 Swiftwater Clifs. I didn't have any Shiven Reefs, though. I mean, if you have them, that's what you want to play. If you have 4 Shiven Reefs, play the Shiven Reefs because you want to be able to play the red and the blue early if you need it. I put in Swiftwater Clifs for now just to hold it off. I ordered some Shiven Reefs, so should be coming in. So you can mix and match. I mean, so a lot of the deck tech videos I've watched and I've messed around with, and decks that I've tried myself. You know, if you don't have the fetch lands, or if you don't have Shiven Reefs or Caves of Koilos, things like that, you can replace them with the come into play tapped, the life gain lands from Khans or from Fate Reforged. There's a few tap lands that come in now with Oath of the Gatewatch. We have them there. So you can mix and match those as you see fit. It really, to me, I don't think it matters. With this deck, I plan, you know, on going long in the long game. I'm not really, we're not an aggro deck. We really suffer against aggro, so with this, the Swiftwater Clifs, the lands that come into play tapped, honestly, if you get those in your first couple of turns, you're not dying. If you get them later on in the game, or maybe you need the extra mana, that could be painful, but so far from what I've played, it hasn't really hurt me. There's only been really 1 or 2 times where the tap lands have kind of screwed me, but really I was able to recover from it. It's not bad. Now onto the sideboard. Disclaimer here, I'm terrible with sideboards. I don't do them a lot. My buddies who play with me, we've been talking about doing sideboards because we want to start doing tournaments. Or maybe not even tournaments, but just we want to start playing a little more competitively. So we've started doing sideboards. We're talking about it. So I've done a few. I don't think they're very good, but here's what I got. We have 3 Dispel, 3 Fiery Impulse, 2 Dispel, 1 Exquisite Firecraft, 2 Days Undoing, 2 Radiant Flames, 1 Temporal Trespass, 2 Rendering Volley, and 2 of Uggin's Insight. Now, we have a couple of removal spells here. We have the Rendering Volley, we have Radiant Flames, and Fiery Impulse. If we're going against aggro decks that have a lot to play early game, we want to play those, board those in. I have 2 more Dispel just in case we're running up against another control deck that plays a lot of counters or sorcery speed or instant speed removal. We need to deal with those. Maybe we need a little more counters. Temporal Trespass, I have a 1 of in there. It'd be cool to take an extra turn. And with the Delve ability, we're going to be having a ton of sorceries and instants in the graveyard, so screw it. Exile those out. I mean, unless you're playing Jace, you really don't need those in the graveyard. Delve them out. Get an extra turn. You get an extra turn. Uggin's Insight, you get to scry X, where X is the highest converted mana cost among permanents you control, which isn't going to be high. It's going to be probably 3, but we can scry 3, and then we draw 3. Again, we're drawing cards. This is, I have this in here for if we're going against people who play long. This is just another huge draw for us. Three cards drawn, 3 tutelage triggers, boom. It demolishes them. Now, the weird one here is Days Undoing. Days Undoing I like a lot. I played Days Undoing in my other tutelage deck, and again, Days Undoing is for when the games go long. When you feel like maybe you're running out of answers, you've used a lot of your draw cards and you're just kind of drawing lands, or really you have nothing to do. You have nothing you can do. The 2 Days Undoing, I feel game 2 or 3 if you really need to, if you need to refill, you need to refuel, yeah, you're gonna lose the tutelage triggers, or you're gonna lose the tutelage progress from before with them, but you can get it back. You both kind of hit the reset button, but you'll be able to, you'll do it, you'll get there. You'll get there. So that's what I got for you. That's my deck. That is the first deck tech, budget blue-red tutelage. Let me know what you thought. Go ahead and hit that like button if that's something you want to see more of. Please, by all means, let me know. I love doing this. This has actually been a lot of fun. I've been working on this deck for a few weeks now since Oath came out. I mean, I had a tutelage deck before, and I kind of, I took out all the green, added some red when I saw some of the new cards that are coming out, and I think it's a really good deck. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. What would you change? What would you do differently? Open to suggestions, please, by all means. And if you want to see more of these, make sure to let me know as well. I have a couple other decks that I have that I really like playing, and I could easily do a deck tech video on those if you want. So go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. And yeah, so that's it. Make sure to check out some of my other videos here if you're not into the deck techs and you want to watch some Yoshi Woolly World, or maybe some Loot Crate unboxings. I got some of those too. So thank you very much for sticking around. My name's Corey with Nerdworks, and I'll catch you next time. K-bye!